With your spirit open and unconstricted, look at things from a high point of view. Miyamoto Musashi. I'm going to have a special training at the end of today's video for you. It is on stepping back, doing exactly that. We like to do that once a week, typically midweek. You can do it at the end of the week, but it is stepping back and really focusing on the weekly chart and what is going on overall, and then looking at the minutia, then the 2-day and the half-day, but really focusing once a week on what you actually see going on with volume and price movement on that weekly chart. In fact, going to it, blowing it up big and studying it closely. So you'll have that in the training video at the end of today's video. Let's first jump into these charts. And by the way, Patreon members, we have already sent out for you the weekly vertical crossovers. I only have 3, and the reason I only have 3 and they're down is because they're 3 stocks I'm familiar with. There is no volume affecting the crossovers this week. Could not find any up or down. And of course, we tie price movement with volume to tell us what's really going on. But the 3 that I picked, I feel pretty good about. So you might analyze those and see if they're worth practice trading. Okay, let's jump into these charts. Doing this a little early because today's actually my birthday and I have a birthday celebration I've got to head off to. It's a little bit of a drive to get there, so I'm starting this about 10 minutes early. So I'm going to knock this out. Let's jump into it. Right now, everything is up except gold pulling back just a little bit. Look at the S&P 500. We've got one more day. Hopefully we'll hit average volume there. 2-day starting off week. You can see where the half day boomed up in the morning and the volume dropped in the afternoon, but it looks like it moved up a little bit higher, 0.88%. We are long, and let me look at where, well, we're holding about the same directional probability as yesterday. Same with the backtest accuracy, but we are long the S&P 500, of course, as it moves up higher and higher and higher. I would argue thanks to inflation. You just can't keep a stock market down when you blow the balloon up. Let's look at the Qs. What's up there? It's up 0.69%. We can see on the 3-day chart as it's, the 2-day chart, these 3 candles I'm looking at as they have been moving up and away from the weekly trend line. Look at the half-day moving up. Hopefully we'll hit average volume on the weekly chart when we get to the end of the week. Again, the 2-day chart weak on the volume, but moving up nonetheless. And we can see where it's not average volume, just below it in the morning and less in the afternoon. Might have shaved off a little of that up movement in the afternoon. But again, still moving up for the day as we get ready to close out right at 0.70%. Let's look at where we are on 20-year U.S. government bonds. Boy, when they started moving up back on Wednesday, the 3rd of September, they have just kept going. Had a little bit of slack there on Thursday, the 9th, but then, Tuesday the 9th. Today is Thursday the 11th. And moved up Wednesday and further up on Thursday. Right now up 0.58%. Big green candle. Of course, we are long on bonds right now, but I'll tell you, the directional probability, not that strong. Not that strong, just pretty much neutral. But as we look at the volume and as we look at price movement, of course, we are long on bonds. What do we see going on gold? Pulling back a little bit. You can see where gold topped back on Tuesday. It has been weak since then. Hasn't reached anywhere near that prior high. Down for the day, 0.19%. Volume, not much on the 2-day. High on the weekly from that prior movement. And again, a higher high. Even with that little pullback, we are still long on gold, and it is just for these last 3 weeks building in volume and in price movement. Beautiful. What about Bitcoin? Well, as we look at Bitcoin, it's up for the day 0.72%. This week it's broken through that prior trend line. We're going into this is our 3rd day busting through it. On the 2-day chart, you can see where things really popped up strong on Wednesday and up a little bit more on Thursday, 0.72%. So we'll see as we get to the end of the week. Will we get up to average volume there? We need volume to help us really understand price movement fully. Well, we can also understand from the lack thereof what it's telling us too. But to feel committed, we love to have volume to back up price movement. That shows us that the buyers are committed. That is where we are, my friends, or the sellers if it's going down. That's where we are, my friends, as we end the day on Thursday. Going to our last trading day. We always love to hear from you. Don't hesitate to reach out to us, cw@chartingwealth.com. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth.